Just
F it.
Eff It. Hi, I'm Romy,
Hi, and I'm Carla.
and together we are the
The
Eff
Eff
It
It
Madres. We are here to invite you guys into stories of some inspiring madres.
Who have changed their lives through an F it moment. So here we go. Just F it.
It. Good morning.
Good morning.
Happy
Monday.
Monday Madre. We are here. Carla, who are we?
We are the F it Madres.
Yes, we are.
It's a podcast about madres supporting madres, moms supporting moms through their F it moments, those big life-changing, juicy ones that change the life path of you and your life and your family, basically.
Yeah.
And hopefully motivate other moms out there who are wanting it, are in the midst of their F it moment, and just need that little nudge, because that's always the hardest part, is that first step. So so I'm Carla, and that's Romy.
It's us. And today we have, so every week we interview a new mom, and today the Monday Madre is actually a mother who reached out to us. So we've had a few moms on here that have reached out to us through social media and been like, I have a story. I'd love to share it with you guys. And we really appreciate that. So please send us your stories,
we do.
because we really appreciate having you guys reach out and give those to us, because we want to hear. So if you have one, reach out to us on Instagram at the Eff It Madres. And we have our email up there as well, and you can let us know. So we're going to bring in a life coach, I believe, or a health coach, and she is going to be sharing the story of, I believe it's a pregnancy story, and like during COVID, when she said F it. So I'm interested. I don't know the whole story, so we'll bring her in. Okay. All right, everybody, we have Seisha Rogers here with us.
Yes,
and
hi.
we're
Hi,
so
Seisha.
excited. She did reach out to us for Instagram. What I love, again, is that us moms get to meet each other through social media. So it's so beautiful, and we get to connect, and we're all in our homes being able to have these awesome conversations. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited.
Yay. So let's just jump into it, Carla.
All right. So first question, Seisha, is when did you decide to just F it, and why?
So I was pregnant with my first kiddo during the midst of COVID, and I was faced with the decision of being on the road traveling or losing my job that I had went back to within like 3 weeks of actually in my maternity leave. And when they told me that I either had to be on the road or I was no longer going to have a job, I decided to say F it and finish out being home with my son and figuring out what my next steps were going to be. What am I going to do now that I don't have the job that I've had for 10 years?
Wow.
What was the job that you had?
So I'm a licensed therapist in the state of Oklahoma, and I also oversaw various clinics and places that we had across the state of Oklahoma. So I was on the road a lot.
Yeah.
That almost sounds illegal that they did that. Like, is that? I mean, obviously, I guess it is, but that's just illegal and cruel, it sounds like.
I actually don't believe it is legal to fire someone during their maternity leave, but
That's
Right?
yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
I was gonna say that just doesn't sound right to me. But I guess with the whole maternity leave thing, it's not a state thing. It's the companies you work for, right? So they could essentially do what they want, but that just doesn't sound right.
It didn't sound right to me or anyone else either, but it was the decision I was faced with.
And didn't feel right. Yeah, you have a brand new baby, which is already hard enough, because going back to work that quick after is not fair to begin with. That's your time with your child afterwards, to go right back to work, and then to take that risk and go back to work and then be let go.
Yes, because I was working remotely at the time, just within a couple weeks. I was fortunate that I had a pretty significant role within the company, but it didn't make much of a difference.
Wow.
Ugh. And also brings like up the whole topic of just like companies and their protection of us as women and us as mothers, and which, like you said, it's almost illegal, but like how many companies just take advantage of these situations.
hmm I felt betrayed in a lot of ways just because
Yeah.
I'd been there for so long. I was like, how can this be happening? I've, committed a decade of my life here, but it was a crazy time for so many people.
Yeah, on top of dealing with a pandemic, and a
hmm
newborn. and then being lost, from that. So my question then would go into, what did you do about it?
I had talked with my partner, and he had wanted me to get out of the position for a long time because it was a very stressful position. And he's like, "This is the perfect opportunity." He's like, "Go all
Yeah.
in on what we've been talking about, what we wanted to do." And so we have been coaching remotely, doing more health and fitness, personal development coaching for about 5 years, and I was just too scared, honestly, to leave
Yeah.
my regular job and be an entrepreneur as a mom. And it was so scary having a newborn. I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? And I was like, all right, let's do it. Like, really, F it. Like, this
F
is
it.
what we have
Yeah.
to do. So took a leap of faith.
And but like, what were you feeling? How did that make you feel during those,
Oof.
like, that decision and all of that?
I'm not a very emotional person, but there was definitely a lot of emotions during that time.
Carla, I was like, you and Carla could be friends.
And so it was all so new for me. I was like having all these emotions of being so scared and anxious and nervous. I'm like, what am I doing? Questioning myself, but then just trying to overcome that fear. And so much had been instilled in me growing up that it's like take the safe route,
Yes.
and I was no longer taking that route and going against everything that I had been brought up to believe. And now that I had this little baby that depended on me too. So many different emotions.
You bring up a really valid point, though, is that we're already, these effort moments for us mothers are already so scary. And they're
Hmm.
already such a big leap of faith, like you said. And I think it's important because that's why this is a podcast and a platform for moms. Because when you add the level of you now have a child that relies on you, you
Hmm.
have a human that needs you. These effort moments are so much more entangled with so many more feelings than just before we were moms saying, fuck it, I'm going to go do this or do that. I feel like we were able to do that with a very different experience. So this is
Yes.
really nailing like what this is. You're saying F it, and it's like you have a brand new baby that needs you, but you also need you. And you
Hmm.
also need to do what's right for you.
Yes.
There's a
Yeah.
lot of emotions around that.
Yeah.
So many different emotions. I mean, even I have a 3-week-old right now. And so even just being on
What?
being on this,
How do you look
right
like
now.
that?
Yeah, I was like, "What?"
What?
Yeah, I
Oh
have a
my
3-week-old, my 2-year-old right now, and I was like, all right, let's make this happen. Let's do this.
Wow. Wow, well done, you.
I
My
know.
God. Jeez.
There are
So
Wow.
these
happy to be
moments
here.
where Carla and our mouth drops at the same time, and that was one of our mouth dropping like moments for those of you that are just listening. Both of our mouths dropped. She looks absolutely together, stunning. 3 weeks, like made time
Wow.
for our interview. Like, girl, you are so good at this. Like, I was
Yeah.
rolled in bed crying 3 weeks in, trying to figure out how to, wipe myself
Same.
and live.
Thank you. I think even that moment of going through that in that scenario really just helped me find that strength within myself of, I mean, this pregnancy, I took 2 days off and I was like, all right, I'm just getting back to it. It's like for my own, mental health and my own state. It's like, I need to do these things for myself and for my family. And so it completely shifted so many things about
Wow.
me.
Sounds like this, even though it sounded like it was a horrendous thing happening to you at that moment in time, was absolutely the best thing that could have happened to you because you are now just, you're a mompreneur. You're doing it.
Hmm. Completely. I'm like it changed my life. It changed my family's life. I've been able to, work from home now, grow our business, be at home with my son. My son was diagnosed with autism this year too, and so being able to be present, take him to his appointments, help him develop, it totally changed the trajectory of our family.
Wow.
With you saying that as well, like what a blessing in disguise, because
Yes.
you wouldn't have known that your son would be diagnosed with that or that you would need to be that present. So that
No.
moment of being let go and having to have that leap of faith and take this action, it's weird how our life works like that, right?
Hmm.
Because here you are totally able to be present without knowing that that was the direction of your family's life.
Yes, I could not agree with that more. It's like just blessings in disguise all the time, that it does not feel like it when everything around you is crumbling, but just, keep going, push through it, and do what you honestly feel like is best and what needs to happen for you and your family, and you'll get through it.
Right.
My friend says all the time rejection is protection, and I've really been like trying to take on that thing that, like, yeah, rejection
Yeah.
isn't always the end of the world. It can be protection,
Yeah.
if we F it and get through it, and allow life to do that. You kind of answered this, but I'm curious just on a bigger
Mhm.
thing. Like, what has it done ultimately for your family by saying F it and taking on your own business, and other than being there with them, what has it done for you guys?
It has actually allowed us to remove so many influences from our family. We we had a gym, a physical location gym that we actually had to close down in the midst of COVID and everything as well. So like we had a lot of transitions going on, and we had so many people that needed things from us and so many different personalities that can be great, but also toxic personalities come along with that. And so being able to really just remove all those outside sources and focus on our family, us as a unit, really helped to bring us closer together and to not be influenced by so many other people's lives and opinions. And it made a big difference. My relationship with my partner has significantly changed, not only said just with our kids, but us as a unit.
I mean, I think when you have that time, right, when you get to be together and you're there, like, you're gonna create different. I mean, Carly, you did this as well. You kind of said F it and stayed in your home to work, to be there with
Yeah.
your daughter. And
Yeah. And it really is a blessing, like in disguise. It was a scary thing to do. Like you said, it was terrifying. But at
Hmm.
the end of the day, it was like the best thing because I would not be as present of a mom had that not happened to me. Same as you. So that is, yeah, very, very excited for you that this was the life path that you went down. um in regards to fears, like do you come up against anything now? Do you, like, I was curious before, I wanted to ask this question that isn't in line with what we asked, but I was just like, how did you just do it all? Like, how did you actually, like, just start building this business after having had something so stable, being able to just do this and like actually build momentum? How did you do it?
A lot of patience. So that's been my word. I'm not a very patient person. I think we all want that, instant gratification, and we would in so many different ways, and just trying to remind myself it's, have patience. Things never grow as fast as we want it to grow either. And it's just having the patience, put in the work, focus on the day to day of the controllables, what can you control today, let the other things go, and
Hmm.
not lean into the fear. I had so much fear of failure all the time, and that really has stopped me. I think that's what stopped me from leaving my job, over the course of 10 years of not being happy. And I think that situation in this scenario obviously went to show me it's like I should have left a long time ago, but I was just too scared to do it.
Mhm,
And
mhm,
now it's trying to push away those fears and not let that fear drive my decision making or what I need to do.
mm,
mhm. Fear can be, it's sad how fear is so crippling
Hmm.
for all the things that we want to do. But the more and more I speak to moms like you and just like listen to all these podcasts and all that, fear is almost it's basically an indicator of the things you need to do.
Yes.
Like every time you feel that fear, it's actually like, okay,
mhm,
actually, I need to do that because I'm terrified. Like, I
yeah.
should probably talk in front of people because I'm terrified of that. I should probably do it, but it's a big fear, like things like that. So it's interesting. Like now, at least for me, I'm trying to use that as the tool to be like, okay, I should investigate this a little more because I'm really scared. So I should probably do that.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I mean, like, this is so out of my comfort zone. And I'm like, oh, being
You
able
and
to come
Carla are
on.
like the same person.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. You and I are very similar because this is
Yeah.
not an emotional person, not a patient person, all of those things.
It's so great.
Yeah. How do you stay moving forward then?
My I was gonna say it's just getting to connect with other people that you just don't even know are out there that are so similar is great. Um,
Right.
really, my kids are a huge motivator for me, and I never even knew if I would be a mom, and I was never the person that was like, "I'm just meant to be a mom." And it when it happened, I was like, it was totally life changing.
Do you feel now that, again, you are where you're supposed to be? Obviously, you're loving being a mother. You made these good choices, right? Like, to anyone listening, that like these things that maybe you thought you weren't going to do or couldn't do, like everything, because you're somebody who is moving through that fear and saying F it, that you're landing like where you need to be.
Yes, and I think it's just a continual process. I still deal with fear. I still question myself. Am I working hard enough? Am I doing enough? Am I giving my kids everything that they need? And just not letting that limit me and use it as a source of motivation and a driver instead of crippling me and stopping me.
And is your new job that you're doing, is it providing above and beyond for you guys? Like, it wasn't like it affected you guys in a way where you couldn't live or take care of your kids, right? Like, it ended up being.
It's been fantastic. So we have all the time. It's like for us, the noon whistle goes off on Saturday, and we just picture where our life was at just a few short years ago and where we're at now. It's like we're at home, we're not the driving across the city, like we're being able to be home, be with our kids, do what we want to do, help who we want to help, which is great. So yes, like, and it's only getting better and better. And so that's, yeah, we're super fortunate.
Is your partner in the same line of work as you? It sounds like you guys are both
Yes.
working from like doing what you wanted. Okay.
Yes, we both work
Okay.
together. We own an online health, fitness, and personal development company. So we stayed
Mm.
within my counseling realm and our fitness realm and just merged them together and, used
Wow.
both of our skill sets and moved that direction with everything. So we work completely remotely, which is a bit chaotic at times with two little ones at home, but we make it happen.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's the goal, right? Like you
That's
could you could do this from wherever you want.
mhm.
That's the
It
dream.
is a dream.
Just to be able to do it
Just
wherever you
like
want.
this, like
Yeah.
getting to connect with people all over.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was our
Yeah.
goal. Our goal when we said F it, and we've shared this before, when we created this kind of podcast that the last year was, we want to have something where we are happy and we're fulfilled and we're doing something that fills our cup, our soul, but that we could do wherever we were. Carla's in LA, I'm here. And like I think so many of us are finding like that kind of independence and freedom is something I feel like a lot of us moms, and I would even say through COVID, like we all just kind of like woke up and
Hmm.
really wanted to figure out how to change things, and I feel like so many of us during that time said fuck it, and went with like our inner peace as opposed to just like what I'm supposed to be doing, and like you said, even with family, right? I'm sure these decisions were conflicting. Is that what I heard? Like, was your family supportive of you saying F it?
No, and I still deal with them. Are you sure you don't want to go back into the office? Are you, you need these benefits. You need all these things that come along with a typical job. And I'm like, no, I don't. Not anymore.
Yeah, what's the point of
Yeah.
having like health insurance and those benefits when you're like
Hmm.
miserable and imprisoned in this horrible job? Like it's just not worth it. And as terrible as it is to say this, like to say that COVID was a blessing sounds terrible, but what you understand what I mean is like
Yes.
so
Yes.
many people woke up to this
Yes.
realization that wow, I was just a robot.
Hmm.
I was a peg, like just another peg doing the same thing every day. And once you experience just being with your family, your priorities just completely shifted. And so that's why I feel like there's this like huge awakening, especially with moms after COVID. They're like, I've gained so many skills just, being a mom that is totally usable in the workforce if I want to go into the workforce, or I can build my own damn
Hmm.
business because I can.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I was saying about like the COVID thing. It was like almost like all of us moms were like, well, first of all, we're home with our kids. We need to now we're experiencing what it's like to be moms that are home with their kids and
Yeah.
working because we've been forced to just go to work, leave your kid. You know, that's how the world works. That's what we do. So that's just what we know. And then all of a sudden the world shook us and it was like, no, you can actually work remote from home and raise your babies. What a concept, you know? What a fucking
Mm-hmm.
concept that we don't have to rush right back into the workforce and lose the few moments with our children that we deserve. And we're actually capable of running a house, raising a baby, being with our partners, handling a business, that we are actually capable of so much more than just being like a slave to these jobs.
Yes. I was,
Mm-hmm.
before I even had went on maternity leave, before things had closed down, like I was already running through my head, how am I going to have this baby and be everywhere I need to be? I'm telling people in my offices, don't don't take it that I will walk in with a baby. Like if I need to be here, I'm going to be walking in with him. And so now I'm like, I can't even imagine what that would have been like, just knowing how he was as a child now. I'm like,
Yeah.
that would have been miserable in itself. But I would have pushed myself to try to do that. And I would have definitely taken away from getting to enjoy those moments.
I also feel like men really got a good close look at what it's like for
Yeah.
moms to be at home and how this is why I feel like this is like there's a movement happening because I feel like the men have been at home and they see how strong and capable we are. And so right now with like the abortion stuff and like the stuff happening in Iran and women's rights that they're trying to hold us down because they actually know that we can crush them.
Because
So,
we
because
handle
we
so
can do
much.
everything.
Yes.
So, hopefully the future. I mean, it feels like the future is female, and it just continues to be that way because we got our shit together, even when we don't, compared to compared to
I
Even
them.
when the world is blowing up behind us, we're still like handling shit, you guys. It's like, oh, it's the
Yeah,
end of the world. Everything's going down. We still have dinner. We have bath. There's a roof over our
Yep.
head. We still pull
yeah,
it together and look like a supermodel on a podcast like you've done tonight. 3 weeks into having a baby. I mean, we
We
handle
do.
shit.
yeah,
Like,
Like,
don't question
we
yeah,
us. We
do.
got it.
Don't question.
yeah. Seriously. So that's my theory of what's happening right now.
Yes.
I mean, you are such an example to so many. Like, I am so grateful for this like story and like hearing you because you really are inspiring. This is exactly what we need to hear. And so many of the words that you said, I know for Carla and I, because I know her and I in our personal journey, like really hit, you know, we have those fears. We want the life that you've created for your family. We want that. So
Yeah,
this is why we love this, is because just hearing you, I'm like, fuck, she did it.
Yep.
You know,
I
yeah,
can do
she
it.
did it.
yeah,
Hmm.
I can do it. Like, yeah.
yeah,
Like it's
yeah.
inspiring to me. And I'm just like looking at you and hearing you. And I'm just like sitting here still in my effort moment because we're in ours going, okay,
Hmm.
like
Yeah.
the
Yeah, we
band-aid's
could do
got to
it.
get ripped here
That's
soon,
what I hope is so
Yeah.
you
many other
know?
people, because like I've had to even shift so much of myself of like to be inspired, to be motivated by other strong women instead of being like, oh my gosh, questioning ourselves. Because we question ourselves, like, am I doing enough? Am I good enough?
Mhm.
You are. It just takes like just be consistent, show up for yourself, and you will get there. It just takes patience and it takes consistency.
Yeah. And also having other women support like the support
Mm-hmm.
amongst us. Like that is what's really important to building like this momentum and movement, a female movement, because it's like when we hold in Rome, you've said this a million times, like when we break each other down, like that just doesn't do anything. It doesn't benefit us. But when we're a
Mm-hmm.
unit, when we're together, we're fucking
Yep.
strong. So
Yeah.
that motivation, that empowering each other, that's what we
What y'all are
need.
doing is so empowering for women and so empowering for moms, just to be like, you have these moments and you can get through it. And just being able to share that, to lean on each other's experiences is amazing.
Well, thank you for
Thank
that.
you.
Like we hope
Yeah.
that this hits someone out there somewhere that would, even if it's one person,
Hmm.
that's the goal here.
Yeah.
Like we need that motivation for sure. So thank you for that.
It will. Y'all hit me today, so that's great.
Yay.
Yay. Well, you've inspired us, like at least like yeah, totally inspired us. Like
Thank
yeah.
you.
So thank you for that.
I was going to say sometimes it feels like, not all, because so many have really wonderful supportive partners, whether their wives, their husbands, whatever it may be, that see them, but like no one knows motherhood like another mother. So our partners don't know really what we're going through like another mother does when it comes to our fears. Are we a good mom? Are we not good enough? Are we selfish? Are we not thinking of our kids' needs? Are we putting ourselves first? Are we not thinking of our partner first? Like the responsibility and the thoughts that we as women,
Mm-hmm.
am I not going to please this person? Am I in competition with this person? Am I in line with what I want, or am I people pleasing my, the only people that get it is like us, you
Mm-hmm.
guys.
Yeah.
Which is why this is the space that we have, is to say, we hear you, we see you, we're in it with you. And then to bring on inspiring mothers like you who do it and have a success with it, that then inspires another mom that's sitting there in their house right now,
Mm-hmm.
miserable because they can't make those changes because those voices and those fears are crippling them, like are completely paralyzing them to move. And so these stories just awaken, I think, a part of our soul. And it takes another mother. It's only another mother that
Mm-hmm.
can do that.
I completely agree.
What then would be your advice to a woman listening, which is great? Like, what would you tell someone listening right now how to get through this or what to do?
Be okay with putting your own wants and needs above other people's. And it is okay. Yes, it's okay to have your own wants and needs met. And just because you put yourself first doesn't mean you care any less about anybody else.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes. I mean, it shows that
Yeah.
you actually care about
Mm-hmm.
everyone else because you're taking care of you. And also what sort of the example that you set for your own children when you do that is so
Mm-hmm.
important because it makes them see that I matter. I matter. So I need to make sure that I always do me so that I can do the
Yeah.
phrase do everyone else sounds funny, but like,
Yes.
you know what I mean?
So you can help and be there for
Yeah,
somebody
like,
else.
so you can actually, like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So it's so I don't know if how you grew up was like how I grew up, which was very much like you put yourself last, it's selfish to put yourself first, like, that sort of thing, and it's taken me up till, like, mid-30s to realize, "Holy shit, I've been doing this all wrong for so
Mm-hmm.
long," and I feel so much better now for other people because I'm trying to work on me and do the things that fill me up. And that it's just if everyone could learn that, I think it would be just such a great shift,
Mm-hmm.
a positive one. So that's great
Thank you.
advice.
That's what, like, show up for yourself so you can show up for everybody else.
Yes.
Yes. Amazing.
It's pretty much, we're saying to all of you moms that are listening, give yourself permission. Like, give yourself permission to show up for yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And then if they don't, like, ask for somebody else to give you that permission. Like, do it. Just do it.
Yeah.
I love that.
So
I
true.
love that. Ask somebody to help you kind of get that permission for yourself if you're struggling with it,
Mm-hmm.
that you want
Mm-hmm.
to move in that effort moment, that you're feeling it. And you always know when it's there. We all feel it. And we're either going to ignore it and tuck it down and go on more years with that feeling in our gut, or we're going to just like free it and let it do what it's supposed to do. And ultimately, what happens is you get a success story where your business
Yes.
worked and everything fell into alignment, and you're not miserable bringing a brand new baby into a job you don't want to be
You know,
at.
and so, like, that's why I feel like this go around. It's like, being able to jump right back into things so quickly. It's because I'm in just a different mindset. I'm in a different frame of mind. I'm in a different space just within myself to be able to do that.
That right there, you just said that though, and it just made me think, like, what if like everything changed the way we were conditioned as women when we had babies, when we were just in our freedom to be able to do the things we love, how much that kind of rebounds, like you in 3 weeks, would maybe happen for us as women if the things were lined up and there wasn't the stress on top of just having a baby, of the jobs, where we need to be, how we're going to do it. Because I'm listening to you and I'm like, man, imagine a world where women could just like have a baby and be like happy and aligned with what they're going to do. They probably could bounce back
Mm-hmm.
like you because that's the space you're in.
Because you want to.
Exactly.
Well, we are so grateful that you came on here.
We're so grateful that you jumped on here and you shared your story. We wanted to see if there was any of your website or Instagram that you can, share with us so people can reach out to you and check you out.
Yes, that'd be great. So on Instagram, it's Seisha_fit counselor is my handle. And then on Facebook, it's just Seisha Rogers. And then my page is Seisha Rogers, health and fitness coach.
But we are going to just all say just F it really quick. So we're going to go one at a time. I'll say it, Carla will say it, then you'll say it. We just close our show with that. And again, we just, everybody go follow her, reach out to her. And we are so grateful.
So grateful for you ladies. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Just F it.